Alright, so I took some time and shot each one of these guns, the XD45, the Glock 19 and 9mm, and the M&P 9, also 9mm. And I gotta say, I don't dislike either one of these guns. Let me say that right off the bat. And as far as ergonomics are concerned, it's difficult. It's difficult to say which one is best of these three, in my view, in my hands. I really like the ergonomics of the Smith Wesson M&P. It's really contoured to the hand. It fits great, feels wonderful in hand. Yeah, great ergonomics on this gun. Really, really nice. The Glock, well, this Glock has always been kind of blocky, but it's never been really bad in my hand. I've done pretty well with it in the past. I still do okay with it. I really don't have a lot of complaints about the Glock 19. The XD45, this is not the first XD I've shot. And it's probably not going to be the last one either. I do like the ergonomics on this one quite a bit. Probably better than the Glock. Better than the M&P, I'm not quite sure about that. But these are not bad ergos at all. The XD's got a pretty good feel to it. So let's talk a little more about the XD45. This is a fine shooting gun. And I've actually been pretty surprised by how much I like it. First off, the .45 caliber, I don't have a ton of experience with it. I've shot it before, obviously, but not a ton. It was very pleasant to shoot on this gun. I don't know what to say. It's just, I really enjoyed shooting it. I felt like it was very good as far as accuracy in quick target acquisition is concerned. And then just standing low heart rate accuracy, you know, taking your time. It did perfectly fine with that as well. One big hole for the most part. Now you might attribute that to the big .45 caliber bullet, but whatever the case, it did very, very well. Talk a little bit about some of the features on this gun. This is obviously the, I think, 5.5-inch barrel model, maybe 5 1/4. I can't quite remember, but the tactical version of it. Look that up and you'll get the full specs on it as far as weight and everything else goes. Some of the neat things about the XD, it does have a rail, and it's got 2 slots for that, so if you want to mount that a little bit further forward, you can do that, either for a light or a laser, whatever you choose. One of the neat things about the slide is that it's actually got these serrations in the front. Now, some people don't care for those, say they never use them. Personally, I think for press checking a gun, they're excellent. I mean, that's pretty much what they're there for in the first place. By press check, I mean you're on the range, you want to make certain that your gun is loaded after you just jacked around in there, so you would eject your magazine, check it out, it looks good, and then you would press check the gun by moving your finger back a little bit, reaching underneath, grabbing those forward serrations, sliding it back just enough to see brass down in the chamber, which there is none, by the way. And the fact that Springfield provides you with a few serrations up there up front for that specific purpose, I think that's pretty nice. Now, the XD obviously has a grip safety. That makes it unique from these other 2 guns here. And I really don't have a problem with that. I don't think it causes any kind of interference. I almost don't notice it when I grab it. It's really, I could take it or leave it, and I really don't mind that it's there. As far as the sights are concerned, very standard sights. Just a 3-dot variety, okay? Nothing wrong with them. I was able to acquire them quickly and get on target quickly. I was able to hold them quickly when shooting for accuracy. Nothing wrong with those sights whatsoever. There's a loaded chamber indicator. Well, that's not really a loaded chamber indicator, more like a cocked hammer indicator or cocked striker in this particular case. There's no actual, I think this here actually is the chamber indicator on top. I believe that's correct. It'd raise up like that to let you know that there's a round in there. But this just lets you know that it's cocked. Okay, so I haven't had a ton of experience with the .45 caliber, nor have I had a ton of experience with the XD platform. But in this bit of experience I've had during this comparison, I gotta say I really like it. I really like the ergonomics of it. The sights are fine. The slide serrations, I actually use them for press checking. It's a great gun. It's a very well put together, very well designed gun. The last thing I want to talk about on the XD is the trigger. I am really impressed with the trigger on this gun. Now, it may just be that it's broken in or something like that. I don't think it is. It's possible that the previous owner had some work done to it. Whatever the case, it's a great trigger. This is the best of the 3, in my opinion. I love that break. It does have a little squash at the end, okay, afterwards. Then the reset. is a little far, and then you've got a little take up as well after the reset. And once again, a little squash afterwards. Now that should turn me off from this trigger, I think. All those factors, but I just can't argue with the trigger that presses so easily. Whatever the case, guys, I really have enjoyed the trigger on this XD45. Got no complaints about the gun whatsoever. I think it's a well-made piece of machinery. Moving on to the Glock 19 and the Glock platform in general. What can you say about the Glock? Well, this is a Gen 4, which means it's got that removable back strap that you can take this off to make the grip a little thinner. You can add a fatter one to make it a little fatter, depending on your preference. It's a pretty nice feature. There's a few other minor changes. I call them minor. The spring has got a little more tension to it. Whatever. It's basically still a Glock. Okay. The sights on it, no problem with them whatsoever. This particular one has night sights on it. You know, they work just as well as any other sight as long as you line them up and hold them straight. No problem. Sights are fine. It does have that little rail at the front. Okay, just that one, which allows you to attach some sort of a laser or weapon light. The grip is a little bit shorter, obviously, because this is the compact Glock. It also has that nice improved grip, that rough textured frame, sort of like a rough textured frame. It's what comes on the Gen 4s, and I do like that grip quite a bit. Glock Trigger. Now, I've never really had any complaints about it in the past. The one thing I like about it the best is probably that short reset and almost no take up after the reset. Okay, that's one thing I really appreciate about Glock handguns. Now, a lot of folks consider those forward slide serrations to be superfluous, and that's probably why Glock hasn't added them. I personally do like to press check my gun when I'm at the range, so gripping onto that is a little bit harder if you're going to press check your gun, but it can still be done. I did it the whole time I was at front sight with this gun. Not really a big deal. And the rear serrations are perfectly good. So the Glock is not a bells and whistles gun. It's very straightforward, and I don't really mind that fact. It's a well put together gun. It works great. It's got a great track record. Happy with the trigger. Good gun overall. You really can't go wrong with a Glock. Now on to the Smith Wesson M&P. This is the gun that I've got the least experience with of all of those on the shooting bag here today. And what is my experience with it today? Well, ergonomically, I think it is the best of the three guns. I think it feels wonderful in hand. It really, really does. I like this little swell up here and how that kind of comes forward. That's very nice. Also that big beaver tail on the back. You know, everything about that, it just feels great in the hand. It feels like it's designed for the human hand. Some of the other guns, the Glock in particular, a little less so. The M&P has some pretty nice features on it, like a loaded chamber indicator that is actually built right into the slide. You can just look right there and see your brass. Perhaps that eliminates the need to press check your gun by sliding back and looking to see if there's brass in there. Perhaps. Whatever the case, it's there for you. If you want to use it, there it is. The M&P does have all the rails you could need right here on the front of the gun. 3 slots, so you can mount your light or your laser as far forward as you want to. The sights on the M&P, once again, very similar to the other two guns. 3-dot sights. No problem with them. Didn't have any trouble acquiring them, staying on target with them. The rear sight does appear to be more easily adjusted. There is a little, what looks like a little Allen wrench screw in there that you can undo and then slide this side to side. Adjust your windage if you're having any trouble getting on target. The serrations here on the back of this gun are a little fancier looking than on the Glock or on the M&P. A little more sculpted. I'll take it or leave it. I think either one works. Don't really have a problem with the serrations on either of these guns. Overall, it's just a better looking gun, far more sculpted, far more finished in every way, shape, and form compared to either the Springfield or the Glock. The M&P is just a better looking gun. So far, the only complaint I have about the M&P is the trigger. It's not horrible, but I think I need some time with it. Perhaps have some work done to it. Not really sure yet. The reset is good. Very similar to that of the Glock. So I'm happy about that. However, I think it could be a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner in that actual break. One of the things I dislike about it is that take-up. It feels a little stagey. You can even hear it. Feels like it almost needs to be polished in there somehow. And then the actual break, which comes right around there, is just heavier than the other two guns. The M&P has its mag release right where God and John Browning intended it to be, as does the XD, as well as the Glock Gen 4. The Gen 4 is a little bit larger. I really could take or leave that larger one. It works fine. I don't have a problem with the old one though. But once again, guys, I recognize that I don't have a broad variety here. I've got the XD45, which is not even the same caliber as these two guns. I've got the Glock 19, which is a compact version of the Glock. It doesn't quite translate to what the M&P is, which is its full-size gun. So I realize that this is not a perfect comparison, but I think that what I've given you today, information-wise, is some good information about accuracy, about combat accuracy, about ergonomics, about trigger, the sights, things like that, that are important details as you're picking out your gun. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it. I'm the Late Boy Scout, and we'll see you later.